A lesson in leadership. Once upon a time, in the verdant hills of northern Uganda, there lay a small village called Aloro. The village was known far and wide for its fertile land, hardworking people, and abundant harvests. At the heart of Aloro was its chief, a tall, imposing man named Odongo. He had inherited the title from his father, who was a wise and respected leader. Odongo began his reign with the same promise as his father. He was a man of great charisma and strength, and the people of Aloro believed he would lead them to even greater prosperity. However, as time went on, it became clear that Chief Odongo was not his father. Though he had the physical strength to lead, he lacked the wisdom and foresight that are the true marks of a great leader. Odongo's downfall began with his obsession with wealth and status. Unlike his father, who had lived simply and put the needs of his people above his own, Odongo desired luxury. He began to travel to neighboring towns, where he saw the grandeur of other chiefs who lived in fine houses, wore rich garments, and rode on horses. He returned to Aloro with a new dream: to make his village the most prosperous in the land, not through the collective success of his people, but through his own wealth. To achieve this, Odongo imposed heavy taxes on his people. He demanded that they give a portion of their harvests, livestock, and even their savings to fill the village treasury. At first, the people complied, trusting that their chief had a grand plan. But as the years went by, the taxes grew heavier, and the people grew poorer. The fertile lands of Aloro, once teeming with crops, began to wither as farmers could no longer afford seeds or tools. The livestock, once plentiful, dwindled as they were either sold off or died from neglect. The villagers, once healthy and strong, became weak from hunger and disease. Odongo, however, was blind to the suffering of his people. He used the village's wealth to build a grand palace for himself, complete with high walls and golden gates. He held lavish feasts for other chiefs, showing off his riches while his people starved outside. The villagers, desperate and hopeless, pleaded with Chief Odongo to reduce the taxes and allow them to rebuild their lives. But Odongo, blinded by his greed, dismissed their pleas. "A great chief must live in greatness," he would say. "I am doing this for the honor of Aloro." As the years passed, Aloro's reputation changed from that of a prosperous village to a place of suffering and poverty. The once bustling market became silent, and the children's laughter that had once filled the air was replaced by cries of hunger. One day, a terrible drought struck the land. With no crops to harvest and no animals to slaughter, the villagers faced starvation. They turned to Chief Odongo for help, but the village treasury, once full, was empty. Odongo had spent it all on his luxuries, leaving nothing for his people. Realizing the gravity of his mistakes, Odongo tried to rally his people to fight the drought, but it was too late. The villagers, weakened and disillusioned, had lost faith in their leader. The neighboring villages, who once looked up to Aloro, turned away, unwilling to help a community that had been led to ruin by its own chief. In the end, Chief Odongo was left alone in his grand palace, surrounded by the crumbling walls of a village that had once been the jewel of the region. The people of Aloro, who had once loved and respected him, saw him not as a great leader, but as the man who had led them into poverty. As the years went on, the story of Chief Odongo became a cautionary tale, told by elders to their children. It was a lesson in the dangers of greed, the importance of wisdom in leadership, and the truth that a chief's greatness is measured not by the wealth he amasses for himself, but by the prosperity he brings to his people. And so, Aloro remained a shadow of its former self, a reminder to all who pass through it of the fate that befalls a community when its leader loses sight of what truly